visiting a place, any place. You never know when a new adventure will reveal itself, whether part of a planned excursion or something entirely unexpected. Some of the best explorations begin when you least expect them. That was certainly the case with this location, resting quietly in Dublin, Ireland. St. Michan's Church is a beautiful piece of history and a testament to the resilience of those who still reside within. The church's foundation dates to 1095, during a time when remnants of the Viking population still lingered in Ireland. After the Battle of Clontarf in 1014, where Wolf the Quarrelsome and other Irish forces dealt a decisive blow to Viking power, many have been either expelled or killed. It wasn't until 1686 that the church, as it stands today, was rebuilt. For more than 300 years, it has served its parishioners. For nearly 600 years, it was the only parish north of the River Liffey. Once inside, the sense of wonder begins. The stained glass windows bathe the interior with natural light, casting an ethereal glow. A wooden eagle lectern, symbolizing the Word of God and the Gospel, stands as a significant feature presented to the church in 1889. One of the most impressive elements is the pipe organ, among the oldest and largest still in operation in Ireland. Originally built between 1723 and 1725, the organ was later rebuilt, though its 18th century casing remains intact, standing proudly against the passage of time. While the artifacts, architecture, and religious symbolism were captivating, my curiosity was piqued even more by what lay outside, around, and beneath the church.
He's the bravest.
Okay.
Or the most foolish.
Probably the most foolish.
I was first to go in. Yes, you guessed it. Either the bravest or the most foolish, as the tour guide joked. Carefully descending into the world below, the sudden drop in temperature added to the atmosphere of mystery. With each step forward, I felt like I was stepping into an Indiana Jones moment. Beneath the streets of Dublin, another world awaited. A realm suspended between history and myth. And then they slowly revealed themselves, as if expecting our arrival. As my eyes adjusted to the dim light, I saw them, the mummies of St. Michan's Church, resting like ancient documents etched in flesh and bone. I was overwhelmed with reverence. To be this close to some of Ireland's oldest residents was surreal. The tour guide was engaging and passionate, expertly relaying the stories of these individuals, their lives, roles, and legacies.
The figure in against the right-hand wall, resting on top of the coffin, is about 400 years old. She's female, but she's the most damaged. She's anonymous. Beside her on the ground, again, 400 years old, he has no feet. And also no right hand. It sounds crazy, but I think the feet are simply is too slow. The hand is a bit of a problem. It seems to be punishment. But that would make him strange to be buried under the tree. One possibility is that he reforms, maybe becomes a priest, or it's not punishment. Disease, battle wound, accident. The third one, 800 years old, the Crusader del Cruzado. One of the traditions of the Crusades is being buried with your feet crossed to indicate the crucifix. In his case, he is crossed at the thigh bone, the lower leg broken, pushed underneath him. Again.
It is illegal to open caskets. However, the display of the mummies occurred naturally over time. As the wooden caskets deteriorated, crumbling and falling apart, the perfectly preserved mummies within were gradually revealed. This remarkable preservation was made possible by a combination of environmental factors: the limestone from which the crypts are carved, the presence of methane gas beneath the ground, and the constant cool temperatures within the crypts. Together, these elements created a natural and effortless preservation process. Upon returning to daylight, it was brief. We had one more chamber to explore. Inside, something immediately caught my eye. A death mask. The face belonged to Theobald Wolfe Tone, founder of the Society of United Irishmen, a revolutionary group dedicated to ending British rule and securing Irish independence. Authorities viewed the group as a significant threat, and Wolfe Tone's leadership led to the 1798 rebellion. Captured, charged with treason, and sentenced to death by hanging, Tone allegedly slit his own throat hours before his execution, dying a week later in Dublin. Whether this act was self-inflicted or the result of British intervention remains debated. Resting in the same chamber as Tone's mask are the remains of brothers Henry and John Shears, also members of the United Irishmen. In July of 1798, they were charged with treason and executed on July 14th by the brutal method of hanging, drawing, and quartering. This horrific process involved being dragged to the place of execution, hanged until near death, then emasculated, disemboweled, beheaded, and quartered. The remains were often displayed in public as a warning, London Bridge being a common sight. For women convicted of similar crimes, death by burning at the stake was the method of execution. For years, tourists could walk among these crypts, face to face with preserved fragments of Irish history. That is until a tragic event in recent history. In June 2024, the crypts became the target of a senseless act of vandalism when someone deliberately set them on fire. 5 mummies were damaged, 2 burned beyond recognition, and others suffered water damage as firefighters worked to save the space. Among those severely affected was the famed Crusader. Thankfully, the individual responsible was apprehended, tried, and sentenced to 6 years in prison. Still, the damage left behind is immeasurable. The tours have now resumed. The generosity of this church and the people of Ireland continue to amaze me. Despite all the unfortunate, savage events, the desire to include and share their history lives on. I encourage you to please go to the links posted in the description of this video to learn more and maybe schedule a tour for yourself.